A reading from Falling for Havoc by Emmy Randall. Chapter 5, When It Rains, It Pours.
A crack of thunder echoes through the air like the roar of a mighty beast, shaking the ground beneath our feet. I jump, gripping my paper coffee cup tightly as everyone flees into the small cafe. I would get up and join them if I weren't frozen, my mind still circulating in the vast void of space in Havoc's bedroom. Lightning flashes across the sky, illuminating the darkness in bright bursts of light. The rain lashes down in sheets, hammering against the roof tiles with an almost violent force. Havoc sighs beside me, placing his hand on my arm to keep me from moving. He leans in uncomfortably close.
What do I need to do to get you to act normal again? Not like a tiny mouse about to scurry off into some little hole.
I feel his warm breath on my cheek as he speaks, his words slicing through the roar of the storm outside. I attempt to pull away, but his grip tightens, holding me in place. He swivels my chair, forcing me to face him, caging me in. I don't know, I stammer, feeling trapped under his gaze. 15 days of paid vacation starting this year? A stunned but genuine grin tugs at the corner of his mouth.
What?
He chuckles. I set my cup down on that patio table, feeling more confident. If I'm going to work for Satan, then I think I should at least get a 2-week vacation out of it. He leans back in his chair, a hearty laugh bubbling up from his chest. Everything about his sinister demeanor and authority fades away. He's relaxed and carefree.
You're interesting, I'll give you that.
He says, still chuckling.
I thought you would have quit.
I shiver from the cold front sweeping in from the monsoon behind me. Thank God there's a canvas pavilion shielding me from the torrential rain. Honestly, I didn't consider that an option. I thought there must be a reason you hired me, and whatever that reason is, you're not going to let me go now.
You're right, I won't let you go.
Havoc chuckles again, shaking his head in disbelief.
You drive a hard bargain, Nadine, but I like your style. Consider it done.
Havoc pushes back his chair and stands before offering me his hand. I hesitate but take it, allowing him to help me to my feet. With our hands clasped together, I recall something I said last Friday when he hired me. When I mentioned I thought I'd have to sell my soul to get great benefits like this, and you said maybe I did. That was just a joke, right? The corner of his mouth twists into a sinister grin just before the canvas pavilion bursts above me. Cold water pelts down, drenching me entirely and turning my white blouse into a sheer frosted shirt. Havoc releases my hand, the only thing remaining dry in the waterfall. A satisfied grin spreads across his face.
Come on, Nadine, we have appointments to keep.
I shiver as the water continues to pour down, feeling a chill run through my body. Havoc's grin grates on me like sandpaper, his eyes glinting with mischief. That jerk probably did this to me. As we step out from under the canvas pavilion, I try to wring my wet clothes as best I can. Havoc seems unfazed by the sudden downpour, his dark hair slicked back against his head. Though the rain pelts me, I notice that Havoc remains completely dry. I raise my hands above my head in an attempt to block some of the rain, not that it makes any difference. My hair is already stuck to my neck and forehead like small rivers. Are you really Satan? I ask. Havoc shrugs.
It's one of 1,000 different names I use. Why? Does the thought of working for me bother you?
I hadn't considered it before. The concept of what he does is a bit unsettling. It depends. What are we doing during your appointments, and will I get in trouble with... I trail off and point upward. Havoc's eyes track my finger.
Are you going to get in trouble with the sky?
No. Heaven, God. The big guy upstairs? I need a job, but I might have to draw the line at risking my immortal soul. He slips his hands into his pockets, making me envy the layers he's wearing. The cold is beginning to seep into my bones.
There's no big man upstairs,
he tells me.
Just as I'm not exactly Satan or the devil or whatever evil deity humans perceive me as. There is light, darkness, and time.
I shiver, wrapping my arms around myself. I'm not sure what that means.
That's why humans create God and Satan.
He continues, his voice is low and almost soothing.
I'm just the one humans blame for their misfortunes. I represent everything terrible in the world, from stubbing a toe in the middle of the night to death and natural disasters that destroy entire cities. I embody all the darkness and evil that exists within humanity. But in truth, I am simply a convenient scapegoat for people to shift their guilt and responsibility onto. It's easier for them to believe in a malevolent force outside themselves than to confront the harsh truth. that they can commit heinous acts on their own. I am merely a reflection of the darkness that already exists within humanity.
I slowly absorb his words, carefully dissecting what he's telling me. I even study the hint of sadness and frustration on his face as he talks about how humanity pushes blame onto him. So you're not evil? Havoc halts and faces me, his brows knit together as he examines my trembling form. The rain trickles off my chin. I can see the conflict in his eyes as he contemplates his response. He huffs and looks around. The sidewalk is empty. People are likely avoiding the downpour.
You do realize you're soaking wet and freezing, right?
Yes, I say sternly. It's occurred to me. What does that have to do with anything? My teeth chatter as I speak. He becomes increasingly irritated with me and glares down.
Why aren't you complaining?
He's lost his mind. I stare up at him, dumbfounded. I'm unsure where the sudden aggression comes from or why it's directed at me. Why should I complain? It's not like it'll make the rain stop. Besides, it hasn't rained in forever. The city parks could really use this downpour. He scoffs at my response, clearly unsatisfied with my lack of reaction.
You can't always be this damn positive.
He mutters under his breath. I can see the frustration in his eyes, but I refuse to let it affect me. I stand my ground, refusing to engage in his negativity. There's no point in complaining about things we can't control, I reply calmly. So I always look at the silver lining. Havoc's eyes narrow just as the rain's downpour intensifies. Sheets of thick drops shower down in a roar that is deafening. The water on the ground flows so heavily that the streets and pavement transform into rivers, soaking my shoes with filthy water. The sky darkens as the nimbus clouds grow, enveloping the city in a thick blanket. The rain doesn't bother him, though. His focus shifts to me as he moves in closer. I feel the intensity of his gaze as he approaches, his steps deliberate and purposeful. The rain bends around him as if even the weather is wary of his presence. I try to back away, but my feet feel as though they are stuck in the rising water. Havoc's expression is unreadable, his eyes dark and piercing. I can sense danger emanating from him, a primal instinct telling me to run. But I stand my ground, refusing to show any sign of fear. As he reaches me, I can feel his warmth radiating toward me. My breath hitches in my throat. Despite his threatening aura, any fear I have starts to dissipate. It gives way to a sense of belonging, as if I'm supposed to be here with him. His presence is overwhelming yet strangely comforting. I can't explain it, but being near him feels right, as if we are connected in some inexplicable way. The tension between us is palpable, yet an undeniable pull draws me closer to him. I'm captivated by his intensity, unable to tear my gaze away from his mesmerizing eyes. There is a raw power within him that both frightens and entices me. I know I should be cautious, but something deep inside tells me I'm his, and he's mine.
I will break you.
He growls out a warning just before a bolt of lightning strikes a transformer. A bright flash illuminates the sky, followed by a deafening crack. The transformer cowers under the intense force, its metal frame shaking as it fights to contain the surge of electricity, coursing through its delicate circuitry. A shower of sparks and fire erupts like a firework. In that split second, lights flicker out. Electronics sizzle and fail, and the smell of burning ozone fills the air.
Get inside!
Someone calls to us from a small storefront. The glass front door stands open with a woman's head poking out from the darkness behind her. Her tight, curly hair is gathered into a loose ponytail. Havoc nods toward the woman, signaling for me to enter. I eagerly dash toward the store, looking for shelter from the storm.
You all must be crazy to be out in that.
The store owner says once we're inside. Her gaze sweeps over me, pausing at the puddle I'm leaving on the floor. I can feel my cheeks flush with embarrassment as I quickly apologize. I'm so sorry about your floor.
Don't worry about it.
She waves it off and turns to a wooden shelf on the wall lined with fluffy white towels.
You're soaked to the bone. Here,
She says, handing me the towel.
dry off. I'll go get you something to change into.
As she heads toward the back of the store, I look around and realize we're in some kind of spa or cafe or both. The atmosphere is warm and inviting, with hints of lavender hanging in the air. Candles are lit around the room, casting a warm orange glow. I wrap the towel around myself and start to dry off, grateful for the kindness of this stranger. As I hear footsteps approaching, I turn to see the woman returning with a set of clean clothes for me to change into. She smiles warmly and gestures toward a private changing area in the corner of the room.
You must be freezing.
She casts Havoc a cutting scowl.
You'd think a gentleman would offer to share an umbrella.
I begin to defend him until I notice a black umbrella with red accents tucked under his arm. I know for a fact he didn't have that the entire walk here. I would ask him where it came from, but I know I can't in front of the store owner. So instead, I thank her and quickly make my way to the changing area. Once changed, dried, and with my hair wrapped in the towel she gave me, I head back into the lobby area. As I walk back, I notice the store owner directing Havoc to a small table with a teapot on it.
Lucky for you both. I had just brewed some chamomile tea before the lightning struck.
She tells him as I approach.
Please, rest here until the storm clears. I have some things I need to do in the back.
I thank the store owner for her hospitality and sit beside Havoc at the table. The aroma of chamomile tea fills the air, wrapping me in a cozy, calm blanket. How lucky are we? I say as we sip our tea.
Luck? You were drenched head to foot and more than likely will catch a cold. How is that lucky?
He asks as he picks his cup up and tentatively takes a sip. Well, we stumbled upon this charming little place on a rainy day when we needed shelter. And now we get to enjoy some delicious tea together. Plus, I look down at the cute and cozy gray sweats lent to me. Because my work clothes are ruined, I get to work in sweats for the rest of the day. I hum in delight as I take a drink of my tea. The warmth flows through my core, toasting me up nicely. I set my cup down and turn toward him. I am curious about something. Why do you need an assistant now? After what I assume centuries of doing stuff on your own. Why now?
I needed a mortal's opinion about something.
He tells me. His gaze is fixed outside, somewhere far away and lost in thought. I raise an eyebrow, intrigued by his cryptic response. A mortal's opinion? About what? I press, leaning in slightly to catch his gaze. He finally turns to look at me, his eyes dark and unreadable.
On how to end the world.
Thank you for listening to Chapter 5 of Falling for Havoc. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for more notifications. You can find Falling for Havoc at Wattpad.com or on the Wattpad app. Search for my username, reading_mermaid08.